Question, fellas. Why would you continue to smash a woman you know you're not going to marry? Just curious. Just curious. Everybody quiet. Everybody quiet. Just curious. Hey, what up, party people? Welcome to another episode of Q&A with Bae. I'm your host, comedian Ron G, and my lovely wife Manal, aka Pootie, who is here, but she ain't here. My son got a little fussy, and she had to make sure he's good. So, anyway, this is the Catch a Fade show where you get to ask the opposite sex specific questions that you want to get answered. So, I'm gonna let the ladies go first. I'm gonna bring the smoke to y'all. Y'all can answer however you feel. So, ladies, you all want your soulmate, right?
Yes.
Do y'all believe in that term?
Yes. Yes.
What if your soulmate was 1 inch taller than you? What would you tell God?
Allow him to be able to afford that new knee extension surgery.
Oh my God!
This man got to pay for new knees? That's what we doing?
We have to learn how to walk.
So you mean to tell me this is your soulmate? This ain't just another love.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
1 inch taller.
I'm okay with that.
And you're how tall?
5'6".
And so he's 5'7" with them heels on.
If he's my soulmate, yeah. What does height mean?
You just gonna walk outside looking like a chaperone?
Always in flat.
And this is my husband. All right, cool. What about you? What about you? Go ahead, sir. No, you got it. No, it's on the tip of your tongue. Let's
Look, I have dated a guy that was 3 inches. I'm 5'8", and I dated a guy that was 3 inches shorter than me, and I was a little, iffy about it. But his energy was so.
Did his heart beat like a chihuahua?
Big body energy.
No, not a chihuahua. His energy was, I felt like safe and protected in his energy. Like it was so big and like masculine and sexy. I don't even know how to describe it. And I've never felt this way again about someone that was that much shorter than me.
Yeah.
But it's my thing because I'm not a little girl. Like I'm a big girl. Like I'm thick and I'm 5'8". Like, so I like to have somebody that's bigger than me that. What is he saying?
I don't know. Ask him. What you laughing at, Bilal? What you laughing at, Bilal? I'm 5'8". I'm thick.
I am. I like men that I feel like, that are bigger than me. That could pick me up, and not even in a sexual way. Well, in a sexual way.
Could he pick you up?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, did she have a moment just now?
Wow. Did she have a moment?
Did she have a moment?
He could. Yes, this is a great. Yeah. But I totally didn't work. Totally did not work. But I had a really great experience with the short guy, and I've never had it again.
Hilarious.
So
okay.
I'm gonna just leave it at
so
that.
my question is, why is he still not here? Why is he not in your life?
Because he's not gonna watch this. He's wildly successful. He has an ample amount of options, and he's not ready to settle.
Oh, he's married. Cool.
And
Listen,
and he's not ready to settle down. And he's not ready to settle down. He's doing. It's not the right time.
Cool. I would date a guy that if I'm taller than him, I've dated a guy that I was taller than. I think it was uncomfortable when it came to like kissing because like I have to like kiss down.
Girl?
Yeah.
I mean, it made me a little bit because I like to like
Yeah.
But I would date a guy that's shorter than me, not too short though. I got questions.
Question, fellas. Why would you continue to smash a woman you know you're not going to marry? Just curious. Just curious. Everybody quiet. Everybody quiet. Just curious.
I think it just depends on the context. I think more subtext to that is the fact of like, what was your communication style? Like, what were you guys talking about before you started smashing, right? Did you enter the situation thinking like, oh, I'm looking for somebody to date and she's thinking that she's the one? Or were you just straight up and being like, this is a good time, sex is good, let's enjoy each other, but we know that this isn't going to go down the long road?
It's our fault no matter what.
I'm very upfront. You gotta be at this point, right?
And what do you say? Up front, usually. What's your usual?
Usually, I heard you guys talking earlier how men know what kind of box a woman's going to be in.
Yeah.
I'm usually, I'm in this space now where I'm not really hollering at a woman in that fashion if I don't see you as being somebody that I see myself as long term.
Yeah.
Now before, when I was just being single and having fun, I'd be straight up with you. Like if I'm like, I don't really see us dating, but we can have a good time.
Yeah.
Right? That's cool. But if I get to a point where as a man, I feel like
You use those words, or you saying it to yourself?
No, I say those words.
Okay,
straight
cool.
up.
All right.
But if as a man, right, in the relationship, not being the emotional one off bat, even though I'm like a hopeless romantic, if it gets to a point where I feel like she's getting emotionally attached and she wants more and I'm not there, then it's my responsibility to say, hey, I don't really see it going this way and stop it. Because it's easy for a woman to get stigmatized. You know what I'm saying? It's easy just to keep.
Oh, is it now?
First of all, no, it is not.
Oh, is it now?
Y'all, I'm
Let him finish.
We let you talk.
stigmatized.
We let you talk.
Y'all are giving yourself a lot of
Let
credit.
that man cook. Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Because let me thaw you out.
Okay, let me not. That might not be.
Just finish your thought, brother. Don't
Yeah, brother. See, this is the problem. Brother can't even get his thought out. See, this is the issue.
Calm down, Victoria. Let the man talk. Go ahead.
I can only speak from my experience. And my experiences with women, I understand that if you're having sex and you guys start getting used to the sex and it's good, then it's easy for those emotions to come along.
Stigmatized,
You feel like you're getting strung along. But it's my responsibility. I feel like if it's not going down that path and I know that person wants to go there, we're going to have a conversation. I don't see it going there. And we can continue to participate, or I know it's time to kind of start pulling back.
So basically, you're not a victim, you're a volunteer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not stringing nobody along.
Not her. She's not a victim. She's a volunteer. If you tell her this is what it is, right? Right.
Yeah, but if I know she wants more, I'm just gonna put a stop to it.
What about you? What you gonna say?
I just thought Dickmatized was funny.
Oh, go ahead, throw me up.
All that
No,
energy.
let me
Is it
throw
the
you
word was funny?
out. No, I think that's funny that he thinks that women just get into this trance of men and we need to have this sex after we've been intimate. And I'm sorry, maybe we can relate. I don't even know where this is not the topic of the show.
Yes, it is. Right now, it is.
Okay.
And you guys were listening. You're listening for what I said, and not listening to the intent behind it. What he asked was, what happens when you know that you don't? Why are you sexing somebody that you don't want a wife? Right? So I'm like, if you're continuing to do that, and if I'm having a conversation saying, we know we're not going to be in a relationship, then what is going to make you continue to keep having sex with somebody that isn't going to give you what you think that you want? It's either sex or it's the money, right? Or it's the false sense of, I want to be with this person and they want to be with me. But if I'm being clear about that, so stigmatized might have been a triggering word, but I'm just saying, like he said.
That's the truth. That's just the truth at the end of the day. It's just the truth at the end of the day. When you give somebody that organic thing,
We call it organic.
Organic thing.
when you give them that organic thing,
There you go.
So you guys don't think you do anything to get to that point where she thinks something's to get that, right? Because remember, the question was like, she's giving it to you. You don't think you did anything to create in her mind that it's something more than what it is?
Usually when you...
Because usually afterwards, that's when it's like, okay, just to let you know. Men don't come, let's be honest, men don't, unless you are like, what they call them, like, the guys that are all about that, F-boys, they are very boisterous about that. Like Ham's like, up front, they're like
Very clear.
That's why they get what they want, because women respect them, because they give the option, right? And they go along with it. And then they fall in love, right? But the other part is there's
That's
a lot
still
of
stigmatized, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you could give somebody an option without being a fuckboy, though.
women are confident to say they're stigmatized because F-boys are upfront with it, right?
Then stop dealing with F-boys. I'm
Right.
not an
No,
F-boy.
no, but
So
the question
why are
is,
they called that though?
But-
Why are
well,
they called
this-
that if they're honest?
what? Oh,
Like, why would you call somebody a fuckboy if they're honest? That's
well, no,
Because they're fucked boys.
Hold on, reset.
No, that's not a definition.
Yes, they are.
Because hear me out.
Yes,
That's not
it is.
what.
What's
That's
the
not what an
definition?
F boy.
Then
Because here's the
what's the
thing.
definition? What's the
Usually
wait.
women call F boy because he ain't got his stuff together. But here's the thing: if this man eat McDonald's every day, he live with his mama, ain't got no car, and you're smashing him, and you're stigmatized, you can't call him F boy after you got what you needed.
No, fuckboys aren't. Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me, dude.
Oh, okay. So F-boys aren't that. F-boys are guys who F-boys are guys.
wait, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. F-boys are the guys who are telling you all the right things. Yes. They're in pursuit of you. They're the ones that are going to make you feel like, oh, I'm only pursuing you.
Right.
They're doing that to you. And you.
See,
and
exactly.
you,
So
and
that's
you.
the opposite of what you guys were saying before. You were saying that she was saying that fuckboys are up front. Like that's
They are.
No.
Y'all two
no,
said two different
that's
definitions.
two different definitions.
And maybe,
y'all on
but guess
different
what? Guess what? We can have our definitions.
Yeah.
We can have our,
You
but
can't change the definition of a word. A word is a word.
We created this.
Well, F boys don't think they F boys. They think they like charismatic. They
But they shouldn't exist. If you're the one who you say you are, and you're smashing a guy who ain't got it together and lying,
I have a question.
Whose fault is that?
I have a question.
Hold on, let's redress this and then we'll.
Okay, go ahead. Make the question again.
No, I'm saying like if he's an F boy, whether he's lying to you and you know he's lying to you, but he's giving you digmatized, and you saying he doesn't know. I mean, he's telling you, and you know he ain't going nowhere, and you're still doing it. Why does that even exist in your space if you're the type of woman who don't settle for less and you know your worth?
Well, I don't deal with that. But
You don't know your worth? What do you mean?
No. I don't deal with
Okay.
F boys ever.
Okay,
Like,
good.
that's just not a thing. Like, you don't even get to that point with me, right? I'm gonna ask you those uncomfortable questions.
What'd you say?
I said it's a lie, but go ahead.
What? Oh, you don't deal with F
just
boys?
finish your thought. He just,
No,
he
not.
just-
But no, this.
Finish
No,
your thought and then-
okay, so boom. Based on the show, my
we'll go
question
around-
is for you.
we'll go around
What
to-
did you just say?
Well, finish. I was wrong.
He said make your point and then.
Oh, I guess my point is like I don't deal with that, but if I think about how society is and what I'm hearing, F boys are voicious about them being F boys. They are doing that, but I know them to be like it is what it is.
Well, here's my question, right? You just said how society is and what you're hearing. And I think that's oftentimes the problem that we run into from the man side and the woman's side is that we get too caught up in what society is telling us to hear as opposed to going from our own lived experiences. I know for me, if when I was out here and I'm just dating, I'm having fun, I want fun, and if it leads to something, I'm like, oh, I can see this being a relationship. But I also know that the women that I've been intent about being like, oh no, you know what? I see you for being the person that you talk about down the road in my future, and you're understanding what I'm building because most women don't understand what the hell I got going on. But I'm very vocal of being like, I see myself with you. I want to actively pursue getting to know you and figuring out what we could build together. So let's give ourselves an opportunity to do that. I will say it just like that, and I have.
At what point do you say that though? Are you saying it after you have sex? Because remember, women like
No, because here's the thing. Even before you have sex, you know a woman that you see a future with, there's a different way that you enter that situation. So, like an example I have, like the most recent girl I was talking to, I knew from jump because we had several encounters, and after observing her, I'm like, yo, you're somebody that actually want to give us the space and opportunity to actually get to know each other. So let's figure out and let's plan a date and let's actually have a conversation. Then we actually had to meet up in an interaction. I'm like, oh wow, like this actually really isn't just me falling in love with the trailer.
Yeah, trailer.
Like, this might actually be
full movie,
the star full movie character. So actually, let me put some emphasis on doing that. But even before I got there, I remember just 2 years ago, I wrote a list down on what do I want in a wife, and then I looked at it and I said, well, am I that dude right now to match up for what I'm asking God to give me? Right? No. So let me work on me. Let me actually do this because I need to focus on the stuff that I need to do to be the best version of me. So when I do meet that person, I can match that, or at least be close enough to it, right? So I think that's the difference between like real men that have intention when we know that we intentionally are going after women, and these pseudo fuckboys that society is telling you that's out there.
And you mentioned society versus your own experience. Go from your experience because society is not in this room. It's just us here.
Oh yeah. So if you experience, I don't even entertain that. Like,
But you did before, right?
Have I ever entertained an F boy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have.
And when did you know it was time to not mess with F boys anymore? Because you seem
Because I got-
very adamant about I don't do this anymore.
It was a space in my life where I experienced like casually dating. It was the first time I wanted to just like have fun, and I realized after I
Your whole face.
It was a whole phase.
Okay.
And I realized after everything happened, I cared. Like I was cared too much. I found that like I
Digmatized is what digmatized.
But see, the thing it wasn't.
But you-
I had better. But I think it was like I knew. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't that serious. But
You digmatized by second place?
No, it was. I was never. See, I was never digmatized. I was in a casual situation, and
But you caught feelings and you knew what it was.
Yeah, no, I caught feelings other than the sex, but I knew I wanted more. And I guess like in my mind at that time, me not knowing exactly what I want, it was like, okay, this was decent. I could deal with that, but I would hope to want something more. Like, well, we got our little meetup is working, but then I kind of wanted more.
But did you guys have a conversation? Did you express that?
I had the conversation. I was very like in that space where I was trying to be sexual, but I realized that wasn't the type of woman I wanted. That was in my youth, by the way, before I went into. Go ahead, yeah.
So in my situation, what I would do is I would see how a woman present herself. And if she presents herself as if she don't give a fuck about herself, why would I give a fuck about herself?
No.
Hold on.
100%.
So based off how she portray herself, I would then say, hey, look, listen, and I might be a fuckboy for this, but I would say, hey, look, listen, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Now it's up to you. If you decide to fuck me knowing that I just told you I'm here for a good time, not a long time, and you decide to catch feelings, that's not on me.
Y'all killing me with this disclaimer that men don't typically give.
Right. And that's another thing.
I think we just gonna keep going in circles.
Yeah.
I do. I think we just gonna keep going in circles and everybody gonna have an opinion and a rebuttal.
Yeah.
I just feel like we keep focusing on this word F-boy and dickmatize. I don't think those go hand in hand. Like it could be an F-boy or it could be somebody who you really like and you could still be dickmatized. I don't think that matters. You get what I'm saying?
So, question: how do you navigate through? You met a girl that you like. You have sex and you realize she ain't it, but you know she locked in. How do you navigate through that without being the bad guy?
You can't.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Let him answer, and then
I think that no, bro. But you know me.
because that's most of what LA is. Somebody presents themselves with something, you smash, and you're like, yo, you're not who I thought you
I
were.
think it's subjective. I think that topic is subjective to who it's happening to. In my case, I've had that happen. I voiced that to my brother here. He's like one of my therapists. And I've had that happen at times. And like when I voiced that to other women, they didn't actually necessarily tarnish my relationship with that woman because of the way I was able to communicate that. And not everybody has that ability.
So how do you say I enjoy your sex, but I don't like you like that?
I mean, I think for me, I build that environment. I don't know. I have faith. I have the faith, and I have like I have confidence that, and just from experience and seeing the results of what I've built with people, I've been able to create like a friendly environment, playful environment where I can be blunt and honest, and kind of give a little bit of my New York side, and like where I may come off like an asshole, but I'm a loving person. I'm a lover.
Yeah.
So like knowing that
Especially when she naked.
that being the foundation, if I say if I say something like I think this is about to expire, however I present it, it's not necessarily what I'm saying. It's like the energy behind my words and how I am with you, the foundation of our relationship. I think I construct that before I say anything else. After the experience of our relationship. So I think communication and foundation of like what you guys built. Like I have friendships with most of the women that I date.
I have a question for you, Don. You want to say something real quick?
We gotta go back. Go
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So you said like what happens if you're having a relationship with a girl, you have sex, and then
You realize she ain't it.
you realize she's not after the sex. I think what needs to be very clear here, what happens the majority of time with women, and that's why this whole dickmatized statement is so false, is men think that just because they have sex with a girl that they're hooked, or the sex was so good that she needs him, or they, you know what I'm saying?
anybody
Like
say
they
this?
have to go back. No. But just hear me out, because that's how it's almost being portrayed, is like, well, she won't leave after the sex is so good. She wants to stay, or she can't leave, or whichever.
Okay, hold on.
No.
Let her finish and then
let us have, because we're over here like that doesn't happen, and it's very rare that a woman is leaving a sexual encounter with a man truly satisfied, and that's a real thing.
Okay,
And
hold
that
on. Let her finish.
what? No, I want to hear what you guys say.
I'm
I
just
actually
saying. Did you finish your point?
hold up. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Did you finish your point?
No.
Finish your point.
Okay. That a woman. Am I wrong?
You're still stuck on the dickmatized. You're saying it's not always the case. Women aren't
No.
satisfied. And what else?
And so I think that point is invalid to use in this topic of like a woman doesn't want to leave because she just wants to stay for the sex, or she thinks that there's more emotional connection because of the sex and the chemistry, whichever. But usually women leave a sexual encounter not fulfilled.
Okay, so side note, that was brought up in the conversation, and I think you're triggered by that word.
No.
That was a very specific situation that he mentioned.
But that's not a trigger. I was going off of what he said.
What did I say?
What you off of your question.
Yeah. So again, I was being general, but I'm gonna say something real quick to what you're saying. That was whoever said that. I think that was you. That was that man's experience, and you have to respect that. That's how he sees whatever he said. That's not even that. I know. No, let me just.
You can't argue with them.
No. Let me just say how I feel about it real quick. That was his experience. In my opinion, I think that there is a certain truth. There are women, because you're speaking for more women for women outside of yourself, and I believe you, and I think that's a reality for you. But there are women. I've been in positions where there are women that were quote unquote digmatized, and that's the only reason that they was coming back or messing with me. That's my experience. It's real. It wasn't them. They definitely wasn't. Some of them definitely wasn't unsatisfied. I've been in that position before, but that's my experience. That's not everybody's reality. That's not your reality, and we gotta respect that when we're having these conversations.
Great point, sir. Go ahead.
So, when we say digmatized, it's just like the cherry on top. It's actually the vibe. You know, like when you kicking it with somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? You kicking it with somebody, and that person is like, and you lowering that person's guard, whatever that person guard has down, and then you finally give it to him, and then it's not up to the guy's standard, and then he say, hey, look.
What does that mean?
It's not what we thought.
The vagina or the person in general?
Just the person in general. It's just not what we thought it would be. And then we voice that to you. It becomes a problem when we're just being real. Like, hey,
can you check that before you have sex with them, or you gotta wait till you have sex and then find that out?
Yeah.
Okay. My question is, at any point in a dating phase, do men? I remember Ryan, you said something like men are built for accountability.
Yep.
Right? Is there any point in a dating phase that you have had where you have had sex with a woman and you found not just the sex, but other things have happened where you committed a sense of damage that you feel like you had an opportunity to either approach or address it and apologize or do some work before the healing, before you cut it off?
Can I take that?
Can you give an example? Is that clear?
Absolutely.
I think so.
So for instance, for men, sex is just, it's like a workout, right? They don't view that. With women, it's a different type of approach. We come in more vulnerable, and it's an experience for us. We kind of latch in, right? Whether the woman agrees to it or not, it happens, and she has that response. I think when men know that, right? Digmatized or whatever essence, she has a response to that. I guess my question is, at any point in your dating phase, have you seen damage you have created along with sex that you feel like you could have healed or addressed and apologized before you ended it, or do you just felt like that's on her?
What is
Absolutely.
Damage? Explain what damage. Damage is a very specific word.
That is a specific word. I mean, men are aware that once, and maybe you don't know, men should be aware that anyone who has sex, they want to attach on. Whether they say casually or not, a woman is going to be emotionally attached to that. I think men do know that, and be either one. That's why I'm asking the question. Men do know.
Can I take this one?
Huh?
Can I take this one whenever you finish?
Yes, please.
To answer your question, absolutely. I used to pride myself on being honest and having conversation and telling a woman what it is up front. And as you said, allowing her to make a decision. And if she makes that decision, that's on you. I used to sleep well at night knowing that I gave you the option. I told you what it was. And I used to hang my hat on that. And I recognize that I haven't always had the discipline to be able to stand on my word where I say, we shouldn't get intimate. I don't see this going anywhere. I still hang out with the person, and then eventually something happens, a drunk night, leaving the Dime. Shout out to the Dime, LA, one of my favorite spots. But you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that I will establish a boundary based upon what I know to be, the outcome down the line. And then I go against what I know, to be that boundary. So and then I see the damage afterwards. And I've had situations where there was a situation where I went back to an older situation, and she told me, well, you don't have to worry about my emotions this time. I'm over you. It's not even that serious. I just want to have sex. And then I end up, I'm like, okay, I guess our emotions are in check. You know what I'm saying? But it's for me, I have to know better. But it is still, it's on her, but it's also on me. You know what I'm saying? To maintain that boundary and not have weak boundaries, especially in times where the flesh is weak. You know what I'm saying? So no, I finished, but yeah, I'm done.
Men and women have an accountability to themselves and the person at some point. At some point, sex is for grown people. And if you ain't ready to be grown, somebody gonna get hurt either way. Because it's where you graduate to the next level. You like somebody, you cute, I like your face, whatever. But when you have sex, that turns it into something else. And I even believe in my single state, I haven't always done that part well either. You know what I'm saying? Because that's part of the reason why I became celibate. Because every time I had sex with a girl, it's instantly you're my husband. I'm like, that don't feel good. For me, I'm like, oh, you like me. When they start laughing with you and saying your name, like, oh, you so hilarious, Ron, you so funny, Ron. Like, say my name, I know my name. And it wasn't fun anymore. I was like, this don't feel good in the dating process. And as much as I wanted to be like, hey, you know what it is, I told you I wasn't looking for nothing, I'm healing, whatever the situation is, that's for some reason, I think people who are fixers by nature want to try to fix that. The girl's like, I'll help you heal. And I'm like, okay, you gonna help me heal, I'm gonna give you the smoke, and I'm gonna be on my tiptoes. And then came back to the same situation. It was stigmatized, and now why you led me on? I'm like, I never called you. You told me to leave the door open when you left the club, and I did that. We've never been on dates, and now you're the victim? Come on, bro.
Right.
And that's my follow-up question.
Well, I think just to add on to that, I know I've had moments years ago where I probably was more self-destructive in a situationship, where it took me after the fact to have the accountability to realize, like, ooh, I could have handled this a little bit better, like the exit plan. And I realized part of it came from me catching feelings and trying to wrestle with, do I really like this person more than I'm thinking? Is this something, are they showing me the signs of somebody I really want to date? Why am I liking them? Maybe it is a sex. Like my last girlfriend that was like 6 years ago, I know that was part of our situation. Like she went away for 2 weeks. We didn't have sex for 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh no, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? But I knew I was in it for some other reasons of trying to make something work. Yeah. And sometimes when you don't know how to let something go, that's where you can also do damage. But I also know, like, I mean, y'all don't know me from a can of paint, but I try to operate like how you said, like, I like to sleep well at night. I'm the type of person where I've been the fixer. I've most of the time, probably 90% of situations and relationships I've been in, I've been the one overextending myself, being there for that woman, repairing the damage from their shit. And that's where I learned to be like, what's your attachment style? How were you raised? How did you grow up? Also understanding, I know you guys talked earlier about doing the inner work. Manal was saying that. Me knowing that, like, I grew up the oldest of 5 was just my mom. Like, that has an effect on my attachment style, but also being raised just to, like, pull out chairs, open doors for women, overextending myself to the benefit of women and never knowing how to put myself first. And then when you get to an age where you realize, like, oh no, like, I deserve, that, it tempers you in how you approach things. And I think that's why I've had this more matter-of-fact, straightforward conversation. So I will admit that you can do damage in trying to figure it out, but also, like, not in the way society is.
I think a man needs to know. I think in the world where they are constantly dealing with rejection and trying to pursue women, I think if I'm forthcoming with the fact that I am genuinely interested in dating you, like that eliminates any confusion there anyway.
She's a unicorn.
Remember the last guy I dated, I told him, I was like, hey, make sure you take my number. So I kind of gave him that energy to let him know, like, I'm interested. There is no confusion here. And then as we dated and we have, conversation, it's like, yeah, I am interested in getting to know you. Like, I really enjoy your company. I want to spend more time with you.
And I asked specifically that you mentioned you were waiting or celibate or something like that.
Yeah, I was
How
celibate.
do you date and be celibate too, where you again let your guy know? That's what I was asking.
When I was celibate, I was not dating. I didn't do it that way.
I want to answer that.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because to answer that, I do think you have to know yourself. I think, Doc, you said something like this. You were in a space of discipline. Everybody can do things. I think personally with the discipline, you can express desire in that way to a person and say, I also want you to physically in that way. Like, speak to them. If you like them, I feel like you can, but you do also have to be honest and listen. I also want to see that we have sexual chemistry, but I need to be at this point, or forthcoming and say, I want to wait and just like the men are saying, listen, I don't know if I want anything serious. This is where I'm at. Give that man, because you don't know, give that man a chance. Because I've seen some men knowingly wait, literally, and I feel like, but they want to know if they're desired in that way, right? And I think there's so many other ways to make a man feel good. Like, there's some things you can exchange, like, okay, we can't have sex, but we can have massage. Now, be careful, Be careful.
Yeah, massage night is the same thing.
That's synonymous with sex.
It could be some things, like, there's some teachable things that can happen if you guys are not quote unquote sexually compatible. It depends. Like, for me, there's things, because I was celibate. I took some time being celibate, and in the time I was celibate, I was celibate for 10 years.
Okay.
And that's the truth.
Fuck.
I don't think about that a lot because I actually do love sex, right?
That's what's up.
I can speak that voice and I love it. but I also know like I knew myself, right? We could go on a date, but at a certain time, like you gonna have to drop me off. It has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Like that's
Managing your monster.
I was managing my monster, and there was ways that I was able to maintain a relationship and let them know, like, trust me, it could go down. Like I'm in agreement with this, but I need to know. I need you to understand why this is important to me. And we've done other stuff that be able to cultivate life. And hey, it's gonna be hard, yo. It's gonna be hard, but I'm here. So I'm just saying it is possible. The time frame is a whole different thing, but it is possible. So I do think, to answer your question, Ron, you can date a person and verbally say that you want them desirably, however you want to language that. You could be raw with it, poetic with it, and then raw with it. I mean, hey, whatever that.
Organic.
That's it.
Okay, I'll say this. For a man, a woman genuinely likes, there's a lot that we're willing to deal with or endure.
For how long?
I'm 34 years old, right? I have no kids. For me, I'm thinking on a biological clock. Like I want to be able to give my children a healthy life. You know, I don't want to have to deal with, I'm 34, so 35 you said is geriatric. So I don't have forever. I don't have another 10 years to wait around for my man to be what he considers financially ready so we can pursue this. Like, I'm gonna be here. If I genuinely fuck with you, I'm gonna fuck with you the long way. And what you're never gonna have to worry about is footing my bill until you cannot be, you're capable of doing that. I'm gonna provide for myself. I've done it this far. Just let me know, make me feel like you got me. If I love you already, if I care about you, if I see potential in you, I'll do that with you right now. But I think the confusion is you'll be somebody who has these things. You may be pursuing a woman that's not giving you that. She's just not the one for you. And that's okay. She's just not the one that sees the value in you or sees the compatibility with you. And that's okay.
Have you had to do that?
Yes.
You haven't done it before?
Yeah. But I was younger. So now in this space that I'm very intentional. For me, my family life and me creating a family is way more important than my career life. So I'm willing to sacrifice everything that I can, you know, within reason. I still got to
You
live.
did something really dope just now. I think the difference too is the vulnerability is actually saying, hey, look, I don't have much time left.
Right.
Like to tell a man that if he really loves you, that's when you get your answer. That's why I said men are built for accountability. If you tell him like, look, I really like you and I would love to build a family with you, but I ain't got that kind of time.
Right.
That his response to that tells you everything you need to know about who he is as
Exactly.
as a man. That's
Exactly.
give a man the opportunity to be an adult, and if he can't, that's on him. And you can walk away and sleep good at night because you've expressed your concerns. But if you don't do vulnerability and put the pressure on the man, like I need trips, I need blah 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 blah, and like he's trying to figure it out. Like when we first met, we went through that a lot. She used to tell me what she's used to. What she's used to is what I don't have. And I'm like, I don't need to hear what you used to. Like, this is what I'm bringing to the table. I have a home. We are imperfect people trying to figure this thing out, and I wanted to create a dope platform just to give people a starting point, man. Because based on social media, everybody's trash and nobody has answers, and I wanted to create answers, man. But I thank y'all again for joining us. Please follow me, Comedian Ron G, on everything, man. I want to thank my panel, my guests, man. I wish y'all all the best. I hope y'all find the love y'all looking for. And man, we appreciate y'all for taking this ride with us as well, man. Thank y'all so much, man. Have a good night.
Love, peace, and chicken.